This guy waited to say to me, Gene Hackman's the best Lex Luthor. And I looked at him and I go, I agree. And he goes, oh, okay.
Let's bring out the cast of Smallville. We got Tom Welling, Michael Rosenbaum, Erica Durant, and Laura Vandervoot. Hello! You got the metas on? Looking good, brother. I will say, you guys are such an inspiration, not just to them, but to me. Me and my partner.
Thank you.
Both have Kryptonian tattoos based on Smallville.
Nerd, what does it say?
This is our anniversary date, actually.
Oh, I can't read Kryptonian. So
Like she didn't know what it was either, but the truth is, I was like, it looks cool for me, so we're just gonna get it.
Before or after the tattoo?
She still kind of doesn't know what it is exactly.
I'm so far away from you guys.
I'm not that naive.
It's funny because Michael has a tattoo on his lower back. He doesn't know what it says either.
I have one of those too. I got in Tijuana.
And it's not easy
That's better.
to shave my head.
An open chair over there? Okay.
Get out of here.
Perfect.
Sometimes I get near.
All right, there we go.
Sometimes I
what we
bleed.
It should much better.
This is how it was on set.
Yeah.
Just so
Sorry,
you
I
know.
took Tom away from
I always
it's
be
all
by
good.
myself.
Listen, this is better for us anyway,
Okay,
right?
good.
First
I
question.
will say sorry. I know you're trying to get started. There was a point, I don't know when it started, but we have cast chairs. And it got to a point where when I would come off a set, I didn't have any bandwidth or energy to talk to anybody. So I remember saying to the cast, like, I don't want you guys to be offended, but my cast chair would always be like over there. And the other cast chairs would be here because I just needed like 5 minutes of not talking to anybody. And they're like, yeah, we don't care. We don't want to talk to you anyway.
Yeah, you're an asshole.
They were cranky, so we were like, nah, you go sit there.
Now, question for you guys is Smallville. I was into the show, or I got into the show because I'm a big Superman fan. But I stayed for the show because it's a real coming of age story about young people that all kind of feel like outsiders at some point that are just trying to find their place. So for you guys, what is it about Smallville? What did Smallville get right for Superman's enduring legacy that you think the DC and all the fans just embraced it?
Erica?
I was going to say, Tom, it's your show. Talk about that.
I'm not talking.
Okay, everybody loves the Superman mythology because I think they like the idea of good winning over evil. They love the nobility of
That's the question.
Superman. I know, but I'm just looking at you anyways.
I'm just kidding.
It's my subtle pick it up.
I got you. I got you.
No, but I think, okay, what most people have said to me when they've come up to me, specific to my character, was that she was clumsy and human and real, and they felt like they could relate to her. So I think that there's something in all of our journeys when we were younger as characters, finding ourselves, that people were like, I'm also a misfit. I don't quite fit in, and I have something or someone to look up to.
Yeah,
I think you also have we have a choice. No matter what circumstances, you have in terms of Lex, he still had a choice to do the right thing, and he didn't. And it's also the story before the story. It's like, I think it's really interesting to see how these characters evolved and became Nemesis and that. But I think it's about hope. It's about, what do you think it's about, Tom?
I always think it's a show about heart. And I think that no matter what character, even Lex, I mean, everyone's attempting to lead with their heart. And I think that's what was brought into each scene, which allows it to resonate beyond just what the words were.
And it's relatable too, like you said. Like,
Oh, God.
you okay?
You were there. Hi.
Can I just say one thing really quick?
Oh, boy.
Diarrhea.
Oh,
Explosive diarrhea. Boom. Yeah.
Okay, finish answering, Laura.
Erica's going to slap you.
Jesus Christ. No, I was just going to say, because we're Kryptonian, especially Tom and I on the show, I was new to the show. I felt like a fish out of water. This is an amazing cast. I had already watched for 6 seasons. So I think people related to the fact that she felt like a fish out of water. Like, we all feel like we don't belong in some way. And I felt like I didn't belong on the show. Kara didn't belong on Earth. And we were just stumbling through it and learning. I was learning at the same time that she was. And I think it worked well for the character that, I had a lot to learn, and so did Kara. And obviously with Tom on the show as well, he had the same journey. He was trying to figure out who he was. So I think that's what we all relate to.
What was your guys' personal kryptonite during shooting? Something that you dreaded when you read a script and you knew, oh, this is coming up.
Monday mornings.
Rain.
Listening. Remember we did a scene where we kind of flipped what we did, where you had to talk all the time and then I had only like 3 or 4 lines. And if I can't drive a scene, it's very hard for me. Well, at least it was on that show. And I remember you and I expressed that to each other. You're like, oh God, I have so many lines. And I was like, I've got nothing. What do I do? And
Shirtless scenes too, or like being sexy. Ugh. Sexy Lexi.
Sexy Lexi.
Yeah. Didn't you hate like being all?
Wait, I want to see what does sexy Lexi look like? Oh, all right.
Yeah. Can you do bald?
That's sexier than what he does. Sexy.
Yes. Yeah, sexy Lexi with diarrhea.
Oh God.
How about for you,
All right,
Laura? What was
so
your own personal kryptonite on the show where you read something you're like, oh, I have to do this?
I think I hate saying this. My kryptonite was the outfits.
The what?
The outfits that I had to wear.
Sometimes we get excited to take parts.
Yes.
So actors are, we're all obnoxious and weird and sometimes lack a little bit of gratitude. We'll be like, I can't get a job. I can't get a job. We get a job. We're like, I hate the job. And so sometimes what happens is we don't look at the things that we have to do. At least that's me. And,
Being grateful.
And then I'm like, oh crap, I forgot I have to wear a bikini or something.
Right.
And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, but I think on Smallville, especially at the time, some of the outfits they put us in were like Britney Spears inspired, and that just wasn't what a superhero would normally wear to get things done. So I was young and wore what I was told to wear, but I look back now, I'm like, I just wish I had said something like that would make me more comfortable.
Sure.
You know?
I think that you are the good luck charm for DC, all things DC, from the Flash and the Justice League, and also as Lex Luthor. And I know you're friends with James Gunn. And I feel that DC's on a resurgence. We got a Superman movie coming out this year. Is there some a role in the new DCU that you'd be interested in doing, since you are the good luck charm?
I don't know. James asked me to do something fun, so I have a couple of lines in the new Superman, but it's just a voice thing, but it's funny in a way because of who I. Anyway, so there was nothing in this one. But I think, like he's the head of DC. You think that he put one of his good friends in a movie or something. So, he's thoughtful. So I hope that happens. But I think the movie's going to be great. Comes out on my birthday.
You did Guardians too.
I guess you know what you're doing for your birthday.
Little part in Guardians, and he's one of my best friends, and he's very loyal, and it's exciting. I think he's got a great vision for DC. And he's putting his heart and soul into it. And it stresses him out. I can see he has no time. He's just always working. He wants it to be great.
But I will say, to your point, I've never seen anything that involved Michael not get better.
It's facts.
Yeah.
Totally true.
Don't worry about it.
Something get better. Okay.
Everything that exists or is going to happen that gets you involved gets better?
Well, thanks, man.
Yeah.
Now I understand.
100%.
How about questions from the audience? Do they do that or they don't do that here?
I mean, we can if you want to.
There's one person.
Okay, bye.
You have a question for the ladies?
So y'all got to work with John Glover, and he looks like a serious guy, and y'all are a bunch of clowns. And so,
how dare you?
Did he get mad at you guys for breaking scenes?
Yes, Glover.
I don't break scenes.
Glover would be
He got mad at him all the time.
Well, no, but Glover was kind of upset with me in the beginning, and then he realized, oh, he's being this way. This is Lex. He's annoying me. This is what he's supposed to be doing. So, John was always fun though, right? Glover was always fun on set.
Yeah.
But he was a little more serious, so, I was goofing off.
Serious meaning like professional.
Yeah.
Like he didn't goof off, but he was always playful and fun. I remember we were in a scene once in the Kent kitchen, and I don't know what the scene was about, but Lionel comes in and Clark says something, and Lionel's scene was next. And I knew what his line was, and he took a beat. Like but he wasn't saying anything. So I said his line to him, like quietly. And he goes, "Thank you, Tom. I'm taking a moment." And I was like, oh, fuck. And I felt I'm still embarrassed to this day, but he was just taking an action, like an actor beat.
Who's got a question for Laura?
So did you hear that, guys?
No.
No.
If you could play any other character in the Smallville universe, male, female, whatever, who would you play?
Clark.
If it was a female character, I would play
Female or male?
Lois.
I'd
play
play
Lois.
Lionel Luthor.
Because then I get to smooch on
love that
Tom.
All that power.
I think I'd play Lex because it's fun to be bad.
Yeah, Lex is fun to play. It's
Yeah.
cool. It's dark.
Yeah.
You get tired of
Here,
playing
let's-
dark, though.
No.
I don't know. It's pretty
Given
dark.
that some of us are from a certain generation and grew up in the 70s and 80s, what part, if any, did Margot Kidder or Christopher Reeve or Lex Luthor from like the early Superman motion picture have on your characterization of the character before you started to play it?
Look, I once did a convention and there was a line of people and this guy waited to say to me, Gene Hackman's the best Lex Luthor. And I looked at him and I go, I agree. And he goes, oh, okay. And I do. He was my favorite. I love Gene Hackman. He was one of the most gifted actors ever. I love Margot Kidder. I got to spend some time with her. We gambled together in Illinois once. And she was marvelous. I remember seeing her in Amityville Horror, and I thought she was really sexy. I don't know why I told you that. And Christopher Reeve, is just an amazing human being. He's Superman. So,
What did you take from Christopher Reeve for Superman?
Pardon?
What did you take from Christopher Reeves for Superman?
He was really funny. He all we did was tell jokes to each other the whole time in between takes, and we just really had a great time. And he was really going back to kind of what you said earlier. He was really enjoying what he was doing there that day, and there was that light from him in that sense. And there's times on set, as you know, where you can get tired and frustrated and this stuff. And going back to like you said, you have to remember you gotta have fun. That's the energy. You guys don't want to see miserable people on TV. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you can see it sometimes when you're
there's
acting with other
Severance.
actors who don't want to be there.
Yeah.
And it's so much harder to do that. James Marsden told me once, he's like, there's only one way home. I was frustrated and tired one day. He goes, hey, Tom. And I'm like, yeah. He goes, there's only one way home. And I was like, what? He goes, and it's through this scene. And he was so right. Because I wasn't engaging in the scene, it made it even worse. And then we just did the scene. So
we got a lady right
I got a question here.
All right.
I have a question for Michael.
Yeah, I'm back here doing my Forrest Gump. Mama told me.
There was one scene where you were playing the piano. Is it true that in reality, do you know how to play piano?
I am a renowned pianist. I just like to say the word pianist. I could play a little piano, but not like that guy. So what they did was they had his arms like this playing the piano while I'm sitting there going, oh, yeah, sorry. So, the piano?
No, do you want not pianist? Do you want to mime the piano?
Oh, yeah. So he's playing the piano. He's underneath me. So his head's on my back, and he's doing this. Yeah. Why did I tell you that? I should have kept the allure of, yeah. But it wasn't me playing.
Yes. Who did you like kissing more? Chloe, Lana, Lois, or Lex?
Lex.
Okay, thank you.
Michael, we got one for you back here.
Hey, Michael.
That
I
sounded
wanted to
like
know,
Michael.
how much
Oh, she knows me.
Yeah.
Damn.
How much did you enjoy working on the movie Sorority Boys?
I love Sorority Boys. Sorority Boys was a blast.
Did you have any input on your wardrobe on that movie?
Let me tell you something. Until you start waxing and shaving and walking down the road with heels on and having guys look at you and stare at you, these crew guys where I'm in full drag, they're not that far away, but they think I'm a woman. They're just like staring at me. And I'm like, this is what women feel like all the time. And I was like, wow, it's hard to be a woman.
You want a hug?
Yeah.
We have a question out here for all of you guys.
Were y'all expecting?
Louder.
Were y'all
Just eat the
expecting
mic,
the
eat it.
reaction from the fans after the first season?
It was different for us because we didn't have social media to sort of see what was happening like all these other shows. I always said that if Smallville came out when social media was kicking, we'd all have millions of followers. But you know, it was just a different time. So we didn't have that instant gratification or that moment where we could see. We didn't know we were famous. We didn't know the show was, how good the show was. We didn't really know until you went out in public and you started, people came up to you, or you went to a convention. You're like, oh my gosh. I remember my grandfather, the first time I came to a con, I brought him, and there was tons of people in line, and he goes, why are all these people in line? Well, I guess they're here to see me, Irv. And he's like, why would they do that? That's extraordinary. So it was just, you know, those little things. But I think we were lucky that social media wasn't out. I think it made us a little more
It was
relaxed.
healthier, for sure.
How long is this panel?
We have 5 minutes left.
All right, thank you.
All right, this is for everybody. Did you take anything from set after the show, or a costume or a prop or anything?
Memories.
Are you kidding me? I took everything. Zod's jacket, ship keys, Lex's glasses, Lex's water bottles,
Clark's shirt
the
and
white
jacket.
suit, his shirt, jumpsuits, pieces of art.
A lot, like almost all my wardrobe.
Hell
expensive.
yes, take it, man.
It was great.
Take it. I've got it in my closet.
I met someone who informed me that I think it was like 2 years after Smallville ended, because they keep a lot of the wardrobe and the props and stuff, right? In case we got to use them again. And they sold everything for $45,000 to this guy who now owns it and sells these things online at cons and has made a big profit on that. But a lot of times you can't just steal things unless you're Michael. You especially can't ask. If you're gonna take it, you have to take it. You can't ask for it.
I love free shit. Who doesn't? Who loves free shit? Yeah, man. I'm a kid in a candy store. I'm like, you don't want that? All right, I'll take it.
We have a last question over here.
What did it feel like whenever you were wearing the suit at the end of the show?
I'm assuming that's for you, Tom.
Me? Well, I'll tell you, it wasn't the full suit. We had a whole 2-hour meeting about that one shot. It was very specific. And the wardrobe, the head of wardrobe who was in the meeting at the end said, so let me get this straight. You're not going to see the whole suit, right? And they're like, no, we're only going to see this part. And she goes, okay. And so what happened is they only made that part. They didn't spend the money to make a whole suit that they weren't going to see on camera. So really, it was more or less a t-shirt that I was wearing. And so it was quite comfortable.
It was cool. It was a cool scene.
Yeah.
Well, look, if you love this, you got to check out Smallville Nights, because this is just a piece of what that's like.
Oh, yeah.
Please check out Smallville Nights when it comes to your town. Again, guys, this has been an honor. This is full circle.
Hey, give it up.
Thanks for making
you're
this fun,
incredible.
guys.
You're
Thank you,
awesome.
guys.
Hey, we'll be at our tables for a few hours before we fly out. Come see us. Taking photos. We love you. We couldn't do this without you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Dallas.
Here for the cast of Smallville.
Thank you. Back in the back.